Have you ever actually looked up why marathon runners poop themselves? We should ask Google. Like, what does Google say?
You want me to ask Google?
Yeah.
Hold on here. All right. Why do marathoners poop themselves?
According to Mental Floss, the lack of blood flow to the intestinal system can cause a lot of disruptions to normal function. The bottom line is it causes irritation to the intestinal system. That can result in evacuation of bowel movements.
It says you're shunting blood away from your intestines and towards the muscles. The lack of blood flow to the intestinal system can cause for a lot of disruption to normal function.
That sucks.
That's hilarious. I'm glad you asked me to do that.
Like, we talk about poop all the time. I mean, scientifically, me being in the sciences, I'd like to know why.
Well, so Google, speaking of Google, our last episode, we talked about Sex and the City.
Oh, yeah.
My Google feed is filled with all the Sex and the City news.
You're not going to be able to escape it now.
All the time. I have Sex and the City news every day. It happens with everything. Like if I looked up Gooder, I'll say Gooder because I'm looking at your Gooder sunglasses.
Yeah.
I'm going to get ads for Gooder later.
Put in a good word for me so I can be an ambassador.
Gooder, could we get Erika some... you want to be... Oh, we should apply for that.
I'm definitely going to.
I think
Trust
we
me.
should. Maybe we should start the show, though.
That'd be a good idea.
All right.
Let's go.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 6 of the On the Runs podcast. Erika, what's going on?
Not much, man.
Guess what I got?
Oh, is it a present? Is it a present?
You got a present.
Gimme.
All right, pick it
I'm
out.
so excited. I'll take a gray one. Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, it is my new koala clip. I've been looking forward to this since you first mentioned it like weeks ago. Oh,
You're welcome.
This is wicked nice. So, let me describe this to you guys. Is this like a neoprene kind of thing? Definitely waterproof. Let me check and see if my phone can fit in this thing. Oh, yeah. This is perfect. Perfect fit. Just listen to that. This thing is butter. Oh, how nice. Oh, I'm so excited to try this.
So they sent us 4. Mm-hmm. I don't have use for one.
Well, I definitely do.
I don't have a sports bra. I mean, I could try out a sports bra to try one of these, but don't think that's in the plans. We thank you, Koala Clip, for sending these.
Thank you. Oh, it's made for women by women.
Well, there
so
you go.
You can't have one anymore.
All right. Hey, how was your week? It's been 2 weeks since we last talked.
Yeah. I mean, I've had the usual work, but I do have some news, which I'm super excited about.
Oh boy.
So I have been waiting on pins and needles for the beginning of the year because they were finally reopening the entry for Anchor Down this year. And they had to apply all of these qualifications this year since it's such a popular race, and they had to have cutoff somewhere.
Anchor Down was the ultra you did in August.
Yes, the one in August in Rhode Island. So shout out to Dave, by the way. We're coming back to your home state, so maybe you can come hang.
Dave, mark the date, August
12th.
That weekend.
We'll confirm. But yeah, I actually got to apply as a preferred entry because I qualified for Anchor Down at Anchor Down last year. I think you had to do a minimum of 16 laps to redo the 12-hour, and I did 19, so I am back in for the 12-hour.
So last time you got second overall.
Yep, second woman overall.
Woman overall. All
Yep.
right. I'm going to play a little flashback. You ready?
Oh, sure.
All right. All right. She just
guys.
did another pit stop, and then they go, Erika Hamill is in first place.
No pressure or anything.
Let's go. All right, go. So no pressure.
Such good memories, though. I had so much fun doing that.
Hopefully it's a little less humid. That's going to be a blast. We already got it in the calendar.
Yep.
We're going to try to get the camper down there.
Hopefully.
If not, we'll take the On the Runs van.
Yes.
That will be a lot of fun. And we're going to meet our friend.
Which friend?
Our
friend Callie.
Callie. But what's Callie doing?
Callie is going big for the 24 hours this year. So I'm going to have some new competition, and we're going to stay and we're going to cheer her on for a while and see her crush her race.
Maybe we'll, now that we got all this cool equipment, we can bring it with us there. We can get some extra content. That'll be a lot of fun.
I hope you guys can keep busy because I feel so bad. Like I'm out doing my thing and you're
so
just
much
hanging out.
Fun. Like it was so much fun hanging out, running around. Besides the humid.
Oh God, that was bad.
Like it actually kind of sucked at 4 a.m. when I tried to get a nap.
Oh yeah, I can imagine just sticking to everything. But yeah, so how was your week?
Well,
you have some big news yourself, sir.
You see that on my ring finger?
You are wearing a wedding ring.
I got married on New Year's Eve.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a small little fun get together. We have, she has a big family. I have a little family, I guess, locally. But we have plans to have a big party in the fall with a lot of friends. But I got to tell you, I had this whole fiasco with my wedding suit. Well, not really even a wedding suit. I got 3 suits and I have a favorite. So I brought the favorite to the dry cleaners. And I was like, I'll pick it up Thursday night. So I go there Thursday night, and they closed at 5:30. I got there at 5:45. I screwed up.
Oh, no.
No big deal. I'll go by the next day in the morning. So I go in the morning, New Year's Eve. They're closed for the day.
No.
So it's not a big deal. I said to myself, actually, just wear one of your other suits, even though you don't love them as much, and then buy a brand new one for the party in the fall. Like, treat yourself. Drop some pounds and treat myself.
Yep.
I emailed them, though, like at 8 in the morning and saying, it's for a wedding, all this, if anyone can get to that store, I'll get there. And the owner, even though it's Dave's Quality Dry Cleaning, I think it's the owner, his name's Sam. Or Sam's the guy who called me.
Yeah.
Sam called me at 12:15. I was on a jog. We're getting married at 2. He calls me at 12:15, says, I can meet you there. I'm like, I don't know. You know what? I can get there. All right. So we planned.
Abandon ship.
We told people to meet us at 2:00, and I left my house at 5:01. Like I had to run back to the house, and 5:01, I got to my truck, still all sweaty from my jog. Why would some guy go running 2 hours before he gets married? I don't know. I just
gotta relieve some stress.
I was bored. I needed to do something.
You were bored.
I had time to kill. I ran down there to Dave's Quality Dry Cleaning, which is like 25 minutes. Got
Holy
my
crap.
suit. Well, it's 3 minutes from work. So that's why I go there.
Whoa. Okay.
Got the suit, gave the guy a good, nice little tip.
Yeah.
And got back in like 45 minutes.
Not too shabby.
Maybe even a minute or 2 less. Took a quick shower, had the suit on, and I will say this. Even though I was the one who had the last minute code brown there, I was not the last one to be ready. And it wasn't that Ashley wasn't ready. It was everybody else.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, that is good to know.
Yeah.
It all worked out. It great.
Did. So, big episode.
We are so excited.
We're going to have our first guest on the pod.
We have never done this. We are so nervous, but so happy to actually have somebody on.
So my friend Denise is a big runner. Denise, I've only seen once since college. In fact, that was one time she came into Plymouth State and had a partied with us.
Nice.
But I went to high school with Denise, and we reconnected through running, but not running together, just through Strava, Instagram, Facebook. I see she does things like the Walt Disney Marathon. We'll talk about Walt Disney Marathon, hers, and maybe future Walt Disney Marathons later. So she's going to be on the pod, and I think we should bring her on and fill you in with what she just did. She made a huge accomplishment in the year 2021, and she even has bigger plans for the year 2022. And the coolest thing is she runs her running buddy. It's a dog, Cubby.
That's awesome.
And we're going to share her Instagram, and you guys can all follow and fall for the dog. The dog's awesome.
I definitely did.
All right. So let's try to connect with her and make this happen. All right, everyone. We have our first guest here, Denise Giuvelis, our first ever On the Runs guest who just completed running every day in the year 2021, totaling 1,905 miles. 837 of those miles were accompanied by her dog, Cubby. She started running in 2013 after she retired from competitive roller skating and needed a new hobby.
Awesome.
Since then, she's competed in 4 marathons, 11 half marathons, a 50K trail race that I think we'll hear about later, and many other shorter events, 5Ks, 10Ks, the things we like to do.
Oh, yeah.
on her birthday, she likes to run her age in miles. I'm not going to share her age. She can share her age, but it's a lot of miles. Well, it's more than a marathon. And she does that just because it's fun. So anyways, Denise, we're pleased to welcome you to the show, our first ever guest. No pressure. The pressure's all on us.
Let's give her a round of applause.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, on the runs. Thanks for having me.
So the first question that everyone's going to want to know is competitive roller skating.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
not quite normally what you hear about, but I had been competitively roller skating from 1995 to 2012, so a significant portion of my life. And it's just like figure ice skating, but on roller skates. So there's jumps, spins, dance routines, sparkly outfits, and all.
Did you do this at Roller Kingdom, like in Haverhill? Was it Haverhill?
Yeah, Skateland and Haverhill. Yeah.
Skateland. Yeah, that's right. I would go there for like birthday parties and stuff as a kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah. I didn't know about this until I think I did learn you did this in high school, but really later, like when you did stop, you made some post on Instagram or something that's saying like, my career's over, you know, this was so much fun. And you had pictures of you like with trophies and medals and like, did you travel the country to do things?
Yeah, I won my event at Nationals in 2012. So it was kind of a good time to stop.
That's incredible.
And then you're kind of like me is what we talked about. You said you really weren't a fan of running. You kind of hated running, and then you picked it up.
Yeah, I really hated running. I think I played soccer 1 year in high school and was not good at it. Like just did not enjoy running far. And then just as an adult, you get bored and need some sort of challenge to keep going. So.
Amen to that.
So high school, if they didn't pick up yet, I think I talked about it before we brought you on. You and I went to high school together.
Yeah.
But we've kind of reconnected in the past few years. I wouldn't say through running, but because of running and because of Strava and Instagram, and we see each other doing these running events, whether it's a marathon, an Ironman, or just whatever, you're running on your birthday, however many miles. We kind of reconnected that way, and it's kind of been fun because it's like a new sport that we pick up in our 30s that we didn't really take seriously or think we had to take seriously. And it's a new hobby of mine. I only ran in high school for training for hockey, but I hated it. I hated it up to 5 years ago.
I avoided it at all costs.
Erika was the same as like
Yep.
you played high school soccer, right?
I did. And I was a midfielder, so that's all I did was run. And I was like, oh, God, this is awful.
And
So-
she didn't pick up running until after college.
Yep.
So we're all kind of the same there. Let's talk about the other important thing everyone wants to know about is Cubby.
Yeah, Cubby's great. He'll be 6 years old next month. He's a rescue dog from the South.
Did you get him how old was he when you got Cubby?
He was 6 months old when I got
Okay.
him. So we've spent the last 5.5 years together. And he's grown to be the best adventure buddy and running partner I could have ever asked for.
How did you get lucky that he was a dog that could go running with you, or were you like, was that something you had in mind?
That is absolutely something I had in mind. He was really nervous when I got him. He had a lot of just anxiety and fear for the world and everything in it. So we had a lot of training and a lot of work to coax him into going out of the driveway or out on trails or places. But he has grown so much and it's been so much fun.
And he ran 837 miles last year.
That is insane.
That's more than many people.
That is very impressive.
That's more than most people.
Mhm.
I don't know if I ran that many miles last year.
So on my birthday, this past year was 35 miles for me. And Cubby got up to a full marathon. That was my goal.
Wow.
He has run 26 miles in 26.2 in one setting.
Wow. I remember
I'm
that.
in awe of both of you for that day because you won't see me running my age anytime
Did
soon.
you have to plan that like months in advance, like that he would have to train, get his long runs in to make a marathon?
Yeah, just like a person.
Hmm.
And then bring treats for him, water for him, snacks for me, water for me.
Mhm.
And, and you carry that, but sometimes I see on Strava, you'll maybe do a loop where you can loop back to your house for him or to get
Yeah.
the snacks, or do you mostly carry his snacks?
That time I carried them all. We were out for a full 26.2 that day. And then I came home, changed because it had been rainy in the morning. And had a snack, and then went back out for the rest.
April, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back. Let's get to why I kind of wanted to bring you on. Is you just completed running every day for the entire year of 2021. And I remember when you started this, and you would post some Instagrams like day 1 or day 2, day 24, day 43. And I think I asked you, like, are you going for the whole year? And I do remember you saying, I'm at least going until my birthday. But you eventually did decide to do the whole year. And how did you come up with this goal to run every day? And tell us what your standards were. That might be something we talk about with Erika here. Tell us how you did this.
Yeah, so it was honestly because of the pandemic. I had been searching for a way to stay motivated since like running groups were kind of sparse. And I had seen some friends and strangers on Instagram who had done some type of run streak and thought it would be a fun new challenge. And like you mentioned, I was posting them on Instagram. I chose to post every day as kind of like a way to hold myself accountable. Somebody knew I was doing it, so worked out.
That's awesome. We tried our own streaks. The highest I ever got was 47 days. And I ruined it because I decided to go for a 6 a.m. bike ride with one of my friends. And that very same day was the NASCAR race in New Hampshire. And I was like, I'll run after the race when I get home. And that didn't happen because I had way too many 12-ounce cans that I was lifting. And I did take a nap thinking I'll get up and I would do my runs at night sometimes. I would go 2 miles, 20 minutes. That was my standard. And I woke up, it was 3 a.m, and the first thought was, streak's over. I didn't even make 50 days. My thing was, let's go for 50. And you did 365. That's hard.
Yeah, my standard was a little shorter. Mine was 1 continuous mile, or if I was running faster, like at least 10 minutes. So I made that the decision because I had some longer runs planned and just wanted those easy days after those long runs to be manageable so I could actually complete it.
That's kind of like mine. I have a streak going as well. But mine, I allow myself to walk because especially over the winter, I got COVID. I was just sick for a couple of weeks, and if all I could do was walk, that was the manageable thing for me. So yeah, I've been going for, if I do it today, which I will, 589. I've been doing it since like mid 2020. When did that make it? Yeah. June 1st, I think.
So yours is run and or
walk as long as it completes 1 mile. And I do allow myself to do it on the treadmill because I have one. So it does make it easy. But I totally commend you for all of your outdoor miles. Like, I am a fair weather runner, 100%. Like, if it's cold and rainy, I'm like, nope, not doing it. So it's just tough.
So for those who don't know, Denise, you live in Maine. And Maine,
yep.
New Hampshire gets cold, but Maine gets cold. And you're on the seacoast.
So you get extra props for that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily colder, but the wind is probably definitely harder on the coast than inland. But 364 of those days were outside.
That's so,
I had to give in once, and I was a little sad, but it was just, I had waited too long in the day. And it was just a sheet of ice outside, and I didn't have my traction because I was still at work, and it was a whole mess.
And
so
that was right at the end, right?
Yeah, it was December 22nd.
Well, that's the safe thing to do. Like, if you don't want to risk an injury, so I would have done it absolutely.
do you have a treadmill at home, or did you go to a gym for it?
I don't. I work at a university, and we get the access to that gym. So I try not to go. Like, they have a lot of mask mandates and COVID restrictions at the moment, so it kind of makes running a little bit difficult if you're doing some intervals and things like that.
I know what that's like. I spend almost every weekend at a college anywhere across New England. So let's talk about, all right, what do you learn? What were the hardest days, easiest days? How'd this go?
Yeah, overall it went great. I think the biggest thing I learned was the importance of how to not run at the same pace for all of your runs. I've always heard people say that, right? Like, run easy on easy days, run hard on hard days, but I never had really put it into practice. And honestly, probably not even until May or June did I really start like actively trying to think about that. And it has really made an overall effect on my pace significantly. So that's been really exciting.
Those slow and easy days are kind of super important.
Mhm.
And we were just talking about it the other day with one of our other friends running who signed up for a half marathon. And she goes, I did 2 miles today without walking. I'm going to go for 3 tomorrow. And one of them was like, why don't you take a quick recovery day and go for 3 the next day? You know, maybe do a super slow, easy mile and don't push it.
Mhm. Yeah, you have to work up to it. Definitely.
So, and that would prevent from other things like injuries. And did you make this injury free this whole year?
I did. Knock on wood.
We'll knock on some for you too. Yes.
Any setbacks or any moments where you're like, this isn't going to happen?
Yeah, life. I think the hardest days were when life gets stressful. I had some like unexpected house renovations, a terrible first contractor, a stressed out sick dog, all in the month of July. So there were a few days spent running up and down the road of the emergency vet while my dog was inside getting treated.
Oh no.
Yeah, so thankfully I
Kind
had
of
an
a nice
amazing
stress
support
reliever.
Hmm?
Running, it could be a nice stress reliever there.
Oh yeah. I can
It was
imagine.
definitely a way to pass time because people weren't allowed in. So some people were like outside tailgating. It was pretty wild. And here I am just like running loops up and down the road.
So you're the normal one there. That's good.
But thankfully I have an amazing support system of family, friends, Runaways, which is my amazing running group full of badass, like-minded runners. And by that point, even some strangers on Instagram that were along for the ride, all of whom were just rooting for me to reach 365.
Right on. Excellent.
Did you tell me like there was maybe a day or two where you didn't run yet and maybe you're with your friends or your runaways and maybe you had 1 or 2 drinks already and they encouraged you to get out there?
Yeah. So what in July, that perfect storm of life, hit sometimes. And I honestly didn't know how I was mentally going to keep up. Some of my runs didn't happen until 8 p.m. or later. Some happened after a couple beers and coaxing by some great friends. It truly did take a village to get me through the tough patches. But after that, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Awesome. Hey, Erika, by the way, Denise was supposed to be on my Reach the Beach team that never happened.
I was supposed to be at one point.
And I pulled her on too.
Tried
because
to.
When I found out we lost like 6 people and I'm trying to recruit a bunch, I finally got her on. The whole summer she goes, I don't know. I'm going to take some time off. We created her name.
I was mad at you.
Which now I can't remember. The leopard seals.
Yeah, because my team were the Penguins. The Penguins marching south, and my team, like for one reason or another, couldn't like connect that year. And he's like, "Oh, we're the leopard seals. We're gonna come after you." And
so I Google what
the
number 1 predator of a penguin is. It's a leopard seal.
How rude, right? How rude. It would have been fine if I was on the team, though. I'll let it slide.
So hopefully we get to do it again. It's still a bucket list event for me, and I know it is for you. Erika's done it like 6 times.
Oh, yeah, we've done it. The Penguins have been marching for quite a few years now. I think 2016 was our inaugural year, and then we did like a trail Ragnar, too. So we're going strong. So
speaking of going strong, how's the streak going?
It's still going. I haven't stopped it yet. Today's day 377.
And you already ran, right?
I did already run today,
Okay.
yeah. 1 mile outside.
And what's the goal?
I don't have one yet. I just knew I wasn't ready to stop running when the year ended, so.
You just keep swimming, right?
Yeah.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Originally, you told me, like, it's going to end on Monday, which would have been, like, the 3rd. And then when I sent you the show notes, and I'm like, why'd you stop? You changed it and go, I didn't stop. I couldn't. I kept going. And in a weird way, Ashley read this, my wife, Ashley. And she goes, I totally understand. I really want to stop breastfeeding right now, but I'm not ready. And she compared it to breastfeeding. I'm like, okay.
You just get so used to doing something, so I can see that. Had to go run.
Well, that's awesome. So let's talk about our podcast, On the Runs, play on words, as we all know, and we love stories. Good, bad, ugly. Everyone has a Code Brown story, whether it is a real Code Brown or just a, oh, crap moment. Do you have any for us?
I do. It's kind of a Code Brown, I guess, but not in terms of what you normally consider. More of a muddy Code Brown. So I ran a 20K trail race on April 27th of 2019 in New England. So the website for the race even has a disclaimer that there will be mud on this trail and your shoes will get dirty, right? So now living in New England, running or hiking in the spring, right? You know that there's going to be a lot of mud. So I honestly didn't even think twice about signing up. However, it had rained heavily the entire 24 hours prior to this race.
I think I can see where this is going.
Yeah, at the start line, they even said there's a section of waist-high water.
Oh.
Now, honestly, waist-high, yeah.
No.
I honestly was like, yeah, okay, some big puddles. All right, let's go. So off we went. About a third of the way through this race, here comes the big puddle. No lie, without exaggeration, it looked like there was a lake in the middle of these woods. So again, everybody immediately slows down, stops running, kind of like assess, like, how do I even begin to do this? So kind of start wading into this lake. The first step, I slid on the mud underneath and almost go all the way under and caught myself on this like branch or rock or something underneath the water, and thankfully went just up to my chin and didn't go all the way under. So now kind of wade through the rest of this puddle, fully soaked. Now all while knowing that it's an out and back race and I have to come back through that same puddle on the way back.
So I want to pause you.
Yeah.
It was
what?
I want to pause you here. It was about a third of the way into the race, so a little over 5K, and you had to go all the way out and then back. So basically, you were wading water and you're soaked, and then you had to run this way the rest of the way.
Yeah, and then get wet all over again on the way back.
Which is kind of fine at the end, but in the beginning, it's kind of like, oh crap, cold brown.
Right.
Yeah. So much mud. They really were not lying when they said that. So now get to the end of the race. And it's kind of chilly, right? The end of April is not always the warmest, and you're soaking wet running. So now you're sweaty, cold. Honestly, went to try to take my clothes off, and they were soaked and caked onto my body that I had to honestly go ask for help.
No.
to take them off. It was very helpless. I felt so helpless, but it's a funny story to laugh about now.
I love that.
That is insane. I cannot even imagine. I'd be like, no, I'm turning around at this point. This is not happening.
The clothing part reminded me of Anchor Down. So Erika did a major, like her first ultra, and it was 5,000% humid, and she could barely get her clothes off, and she's in like this tense like structure that looks like a porta potty with no roof, and she finally gets like her top off and throws it out from the roof, and it lands on my foot.
With a slap, mind you.
A slap, like, because it was so heavy because the sweat and the water and all the moisture.
So gross.
I
could just imagine with mud, though. That's just the gross, grimy. Not my cup of tea.
That's a great story. Thanks for sharing. You ever done anything else with mud, like a Tough Mudder?
I have not. No, I have stayed away from those on purpose.
Those are Erika's favorite races.
He's lying. I hate them. They're awful.
I want to talk about another story, and then we'll transition. And we're going to ask you before we went live if you want to stick around, and we forgot. So I think we're just going to have you stick around for our Walt Disney World Marathon topic, because you've done one, but you have a story about that too, and not the race itself, but the adventure.
It was definitely an adventure. I kind of call it a beautiful disaster. Disney was supposed to be my first marathon. I had originally planned to run a marathon in May of 2015, but the training had started right in the middle of winter. It was going, to be mentally tough. I knew I was having some challenges in my life and just didn't have the strength or mental capacity to do it. So fast forward a couple of years, I went to my running group in July of 2017, and my friend was randomly asked, "Hey, do you want to run the Disney Marathon with me at the end of in January?" And I was like, "Yes." She was kind of surprised, and she was like, "Well, you have to go to Florida." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. Like, I'm ready. Let's do it." So in September of 2017, we started training and ran the majority of our long runs together. It was a blast. It was exactly what we both needed to kind of get through that first marathon training cycle. Now comes the fun part. The Disney adventure was planned. The flights were booked. Tapering is going well, right? We're getting ready. And in comes the blizzard up the entire East Coast. The race was on a Sunday. Now it's Wednesday afternoon, right before the race. My flight for Friday gets canceled. I tried to rebook my flight out of any airport, any airline within 4 hours of my house in Maine. Nothing, no flights anywhere. So I panic called my mom and asked her if she wanted to drive to Florida with me. If I picked up a rental car that night, because we would have to leave almost immediately if we were driving. So at 10 p.m., I pick up a rental car in Portland. Pick up my mom by like midnight in New Hampshire, and off we go through a blizzard. The beginning of the trip was smooth sailing. We finally hit the blizzard in Virginia, and thankfully we went through the worst of it, and it only took about an hour, so not too terrible. We keep driving south. We get to South Carolina, where we had booked a hotel for Thursday night. Now, being born and raised in New England, I've always heard of the South getting completely shut down with like an inch of snow, but I had never really.
That's right.
Just last week they did.
Exactly. But I never really fully understood what that meant until this trip. So once the sun sets, the road conditions start getting pretty icy. There's no salt, sand trucks, nothing. All we are seeing is just cars abandoned on the side of the road. So we continue on. We pull off at our hotel exit, and we notice the gas stations are closed. McDonald's is closed. Everything appears closed. Yeah. So we park at the hotel, and we literally like ice skate our way into the lobby. It's packed with people. We get into our room. Now we need to try and find dinner in this town that is closed. So no lie, the hotel was so booked because it was the emergency shelter for all of the employees and their families. And they had eaten most of the food.
Oh, no.
So he scrounges up like a frozen pizza for us. We eat our frozen pizza, go to our room. The next morning, wake up and drive the rest of the way to Florida. We get settled in. The marathon was uneventful. It went really well, but nothing like the whole trip. And I hadn't been to Disney since I was a little girl. Everything was just new and exciting. I don't know if you've run. You did the Dopey challenge, right? Yeah.
The same year, actually. I had no idea. I did in 2017 as well. But I had flown down like Tuesday, so I must have just missed all of that crap.
Yeah. So the training was in 2017. I ran in 2018.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But just like running through the castle and everything was just like a dream. It was a great experience that I'll never forget.
That's awesome. So what's next?
I have a marathon on Sunday, January 16th in Jekyll Island in Georgia, and I will be driving down again.
That's in 6 days.
Yeah.
We're going to have to bring you back.
Got to hear about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Road trip number 2.
Road trip number 2, marathon number 5, and it's in 6 days. Everyone's going to want to know. Erika's mom is going to want to know. Shout out to Erika's mom, our number 1 fan.
She says she's our biggest fan. Hi, Mom.
So 6 days. When are you leaving?
Thursday morning.
Okay. It's Monday night, everyone who's listening. And, this is great. You can play this for your mom.
Yeah. We can listen to it on the way down.
Hi, Denise's mom, Rockstar co-pilot.
Hello.
And that's in Georgia?
Yes.
Awesome. So that's going to be great. All right, you want to stick around for the we want to talk to you about Walt Disney Marathon too, because we got some that just happened. Another woman made some, crushed it.
Some history, yeah.
So we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to debate real quick. What time was the race when you ran? Do you remember how early it was?
5:30, I think, in the morning. I think that's when they start.
But what time,
early?
What time did he have to be there?
Ooh, like 3:30, I think. Like, get on a bus really early and then hang out for a very long time.
I don't think that's going to happen for me, but we're going to talk about it. So we'll do it right after this. All right, Erika, Walt Disney World Marathon Week.
Oh, so exciting. All right. So this past weekend was the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. So if you've never heard of it before, they do.
Well, they just heard about it.
Well, the marathon, yes. But they do the 4 events. It's Thursday to Sunday. There's a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. So if you complete all 4 of the events, that's called the Dopey Challenge for obvious reasons. So I completed this in 2017. Super fun, but it is no joke. It's 48.6 total miles. And like Denise said, 5:30 a.m. start time. So that's like a 2:30 a.m. wake up call, getting on a bus, yada, yada. It's a lot of work. So, and I'm not sure if we talked about this part, if it's in our last episode or not, but when Katie volunteered at Boston in October, she manned the first Gatorade table.
It is in our last episode.
Yeah. So mile 2. So she got to see all the elites go by, and Katie actually gave Gatorade to the elite runner Brittany Charbonneau.
Not only that, Denise, it was on TV.
Yeah, I had taped it because I'm a nerd that way, and I like watching marathons on TV. But yeah, you could see Katie handing off the Gatorade in one of the clips. I was like, oh my God, it's Katie. So besides that, so Katie, being all awesome, giving her the Gatorade, decided to start following Brittany on Instagram. And then this weekend happened, and Katie told us that Brittany had won the Disney 5K, and we found out that she was doing the whole Dopey Challenge. So that's super cool. I'm like, this is awesome. We got to pay attention. So for that 5K, got to tell you, she ran an average of a 5:36 minute mile. Like, that's insane for this 5K. Like 17 minutes, something like that. Oh, hold on. My cat's on the table. Go away, cat. Okay. So we're all hooked. We want to know how she's going to keep doing. So we keep tabs on her. We find out she went on to win the 10K with a 5:50 average. She won the half marathon with a 6:01 average. And then she came in to sweep and win the full with a 6:15 average. And this super cool stat, which, like, we're going to totally fangirl over her now. She's the first person, male or female, to sweep the whole series for the Dopey Challenge. And I think that's super freaking cool. So, yeah, I follow her on Strava now. I follow her Instagram. And
go Brittany.
Right? When I was I was looking up how to say her name, and I found out she's got a documentary on YouTube. So I was super excited, and I watched that. So I totally recommend checking her out. She is The Funny Runner. So that's the title of her documentary. So, yeah, her documentary goes on to show how Brittany has, like, all the races she's run and won, Marine Corps being one of them. And she does all this cool stuff. Like, she'll just run around trying to collect coins, and like the end of the year she'll be like, I collected like $32 worth of change.
So is she your new favorite, or
she's up there?
Courtney Dauwalter still number 1?
Well, no, we have Addie. I got so many. I'm just gonna fangirl all of them. But she was even on a quest to break what are called FKTs, which are fastest known times, for trails in Colorado where she lives. So I'm like, you're just cool.
And this is all due to Katie giving her a Powerade. Gatorade.
Yes. Thank you, Katie. We appreciate you. So now, because of this whole dopey thing happening again, the Breakfast Club is planning on taking on some Disney races in hopefully next year, if not in the near future. I think I'll wind up trying the dopey again to see how I do. But we're looking at half, maybe a full marathon for Katie and Shauna.
So,
how about you, Newt?
I'm going to Disney World in December.
Ugh, you're going to ruin it, man. Just kidding. You're going to have fun with your kids and your family.
That would be the very next month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. That's some tight
but it
travel.
might be the 2:30 a.m. wake up calls that turn me away. I don't know.
You know, I am like the complete opposite of a morning person. If I can do it, you can do it.
I want to do it. If we do it next year, I don't know. If we do it the year after, I'm all in.
Well, we'll just see when we can actually get everybody together to want to train for this, because it is a lot of work.
And so, Denise, morning person, you?
If I have to be. Like in the summer, absolutely, because I do not like running in the heat. So I usually get my runs done early, but now, no way.
No way. All right. So, but most of these races, early wake-up calls, not 2:30, but you could handle it? You think you could ever do a dopey challenge?
It's on my bucket list. I was just gonna say you can maybe add me to your list.
Yes,
I
let's
might,
get Denise
yeah.
to come.
All
We
right.
are all on board for that.
So when we plan this, when we do it, see, here's how I can do this. And Ashley listens, so she'll hear this, and she'll be nodding. Okay, it's usually how it works. If I get a group like us, if it was just me, it's a little more of a battle to be like, hey, I want to do an Ironman. You know, let's go to Canada and do an Ironman. You know, but if it's a group thing, it can happen.
Yeah.
Always
Hi,
happens.
Ashley. We're going to steal Newt away again.
So it'll be potentially you, me, Katie, Shauna, maybe Shauna should, baby stroll the whole thing.
I'll let you try to convince her to do that.
And maybe Denise. So she's done it before. She pushed Adeline in a baby stroller. It's a great picture. I'm going to share it. I may have shared it before on our own account. Mm-hmm. I was training for Ironman Mont Tremblant, and I had to run this 5K series. And so Shauna's like, I'm just going to jog for fun. And I had Adeline for the day. I forget what Ashley was doing. And so she ran with Adeline in the stroller, and Adeline was not amused. Not one bit at all. And this is the greatest picture because then I run back as my cool down. I grab the stroller. I finish again with her. The girl who's like Miss New Hampshire knew me because she knew my brother and my sister. She knew my sister. Mm-hmm. And hi, Hannah. Hannah likes to listen.
Hi, Hannah.
She's like, oh, hey, good job the first time I crossed the finish line. And then she sees me again 20 minutes later crossing. She goes, did you do it again?
Yeah, just like to repeat for fun.
All right. Hey, Denise, before we let you go, where can people follow you? Where can they find you? You said you had strangers on Instagram. We want to get you more strangers.
Yeah. So me and my dog, Cubby, are on Instagram as Wander Dog and D.
Wander Dog and D. We're going to share that for you. And we're going to talk to you in 2 weeks. Does that sound good?
That sounds great. I look forward to it.
Good luck in your marathon in 6 days. Hopefully the road trip is eventful, but not like last time.
We want smooth sailing for you. Smooth sailing.
For sure. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thanks for coming on. Being our first ever guest. Fingers crossed when we hit this stop button, everything went well.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Denise. Best of luck.
We'll talk to you soon. Wait 1 second. All right, Denise. You ever heard of koala clip?
I have, actually.
Do you want one?
Yeah, that would be great. I haven't actually tried one out yet. I've heard good things.
All right, so you get a tough choice here. You want gray or black?
Black sounds good.
All right, I'm going to send you a koala clip who sent us some cool swag, and you let us know how it goes. I'll mail it to you.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming on.
That was so awesome. Thank you so much, Denise, for coming on. It was a blast talking to you. Thank you for being our first guest.
It was like a dream come true there.
It really was.
We talked about doing an interview.
Yeah.
We've talked about bringing people on. We never talked about bringing Denise on, and then we bring her on as number one.
Yeah.
And I think she was the perfect first guest.
Perfect.
All right, so I think it's time for our cool down.
Yep.
Everyone's
let's
probably
get
like,
into
all right.
dragging on a little bit.
Yeah. Quick Power Zone pack. We just finished week 1.
Yep.
My legs were toast yesterday.
Today I think it goes into zone 4, the Monday ride, something like that.
And it's Dennis.
I know you love Dennis. I don't mind Dennis. He's fine.
But then the next ride is Olivia, and then it's Matt for 2. Matt's the accelerator as well. Speaking of Matt.
Ooh, I've got a new challenge that I'm doing. Team Wilpers is doing just a winter run challenge, and their goal is to try to get you to run a faster 20-minute time. So tonight I pretty much have the run equivalent of an FTP test, which I'm not looking forward to. But balls to the walls, 20 minutes, kind of going as fast as I can without bonking. And we'll see how that goes.
So it's like you made me remember Scott would make me do these things called a 5K test.
Uh-huh.
And run it as hard as you can for 5K, and you get your zones, your tempo, your race pace, your marathon, your crazy, insane. There's 7 zones.
I don't know if this really translates to getting zones, but it's just trying to get you to run a stronger 20 minutes.
So I'm on the phone with Scott the other day, who's in his RV in Florida by himself.
What's he doing in Florida?
He's supposed to go with his Canadian girlfriend, and she stayed in Canada.
Oh.
COVID reasons and all that. And I'm telling him about the training we're doing, the marathon. He goes, well, what pace zones? When's the last time you did a a 5K test. And I'm like, it's been a while. And then I go, oh, but I got one planned 2 weeks from now.
Now he roped you into
And
it.
I totally made that up. And now I'm like, I got 2 weeks and I got to do a 5K test outside.
Mm-hmm.
We have a route around our work that he's no longer welcome at. He's welcome. He
Why?
just doesn't work there anymore.
Oh, that would do it.
So he hasn't gone back, but it's like.
So what? You're just gonna run it and then repeat it and.
I'll run it and reset my new zones, and I'm gonna possibly throw up doing it. Code Brown the other end.
So you're really gonna make it count.
Yeah, but so the marathon training I'm doing week 6. It's beginning of week 5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just finished 5, so it's beginning of week 5. No, 6, and then I'll have to do it before part 2. It's 3-part training.
Yes.
So I'll do it and reset my zones. So my tempo zone, and the tempo runs go from 30 minutes now to 45. I did my long run today, so about a 70-minute run. It wasn't really for distance. It was just for time in my mind. So, yeah, Power Zone Pack's going well. Marathon training's going really well. To be honest, it's going really well.
Yeah, I'm lacking in the strength training department because last week I tried to do this hardcore calendar, which is not a subsidiary of Peloton, but somebody put together a whole calendar of classes, and I burnt out my lower half in one class, and it took a solid 6 days for it to feel better. So.
The strength's tough for me too because I feel like I get a little bit. I go skiing at least once a week with Adeline, and I do a couple runs on my own.
Plus Power Zone, it just totally drains you.
And I'm skating, so I'm trying to be mindful of not overdoing it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good idea.
And like we talked about, Denise, easy days are really easy days. Mm-hmm. Before we get to the last part, thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram @ontheruns, and you can email us at ontherunspod@gmail.com. But I want to talk about this one thing, Bob Saget.
Poor Danny Tanner. He was a staple of my childhood.
You know what the first thing I thought was that he gets to finally be with his wife.
Oh my God!
But it wasn't Bob Saget's wife. It was Danny Tanner's wife.
Yes.
Who I don't think you ever meet or even see a picture of in Full House.
You know what? I'd have to rewatch the whole series for the love of it.
and I was so disappointed because Fuller House came out on Netflix a couple years ago. And
I loved Fuller House. Do not talk bad about it.
I loved it, but you know what was disappointing? John Stamos, Bob Saget. What's the other guy's name?
Coulier.
Yeah,
Dave.
They were on the first episode, and I was so bummed when they weren't there anymore.
They had cameos in the rest of the season.
Maybe
series.
little cameos. Actually,
they weren't on quite as often, but
I kind of wanted the.
They never got the Olsen twins though, man. Those were the only two who they didn't get
Where
back.
are they these days?
I don't know.
There's a little sister, by the way. I didn't know this. Speaking of
Elizabeth Olsen, are you serious?
Yeah, no, I didn't know.
That's for another day. Dude.
I mean, I found out recently, something happened and something on Google, and then you get everything Elizabeth Olsen all over my Google, like we were talking about.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pick that up on another time, though.
I'm looking at your chewy chocolate chip granola bar, and I'm gonna get a bunch of granola bar ads. Watch, I'm gonna get granola bar ads.
I want the gooder ads. Bring it on.
So, anyways, Bob Saget. I found this on YouTube. I'm taking it from Team Conan O'Brien, who I always really enjoyed. So I'm gonna play this as the way we send you out right after Erika tells us.
Don't forget to stretch.
Bob, if I can call you Bob, that is your name. You're writing a book about your life. I'm hoping, because I'll be the first in line to get that book, that there'll be some Full House stories in there that are behind the scenes and scandalous.
And
anything, because you have a dirty mind, Well, you do. He does. I'm telling you the truth.
I think everybody does, kind of, except...
Oh, not like you. Not like you, Bob.
I don't mean it.
Yeah, you're a good guy, but your mind goes sometimes to dirty places.
I'm picturing you both in a hotel room right now, and I'm just kind of wedged like a hydra because that gets very little.
What is happening there?
Well, you guys were, but you were doing that. You said you were kind of tangent.
I don't remember any of that.
Anyway, so doing a sitcom for family stuff has residualed with me. And in the book, I'm actually writing about it. We had a live donkey on the show once, which people might have seen that episode. I forgot it. I was like, I don't know, on NyQuil or something that year. But we had a live...
There was an episode of Full House where there's a donkey on the set.
A live donkey called Eeyore, which was a great name to come up with it.
Yeah.
And then the donkey with a studio audience, and it was like full air conditioning and stuff. I don't know if this has ever happened here, but the donkey got excited in front of the audience, and it got an erection in front of the... Now, I don't know if that's ever happened here.
Yes.
And we've
had animals here. And
I thought you have a desk, so no one would know. That's what I...
There's a reason this thing is bolted down. Let's put it that way.
I am dirty. Apparently, I am dirty.
Yeah, no, not at all so far.
All right.
So let's talk about talk about the donkey erection again.
Well, it got aroused, and I didn't know what to do because there were kids there. The kids were younger,
Sure.
and John Stamos, handsome yogurt man, and he's like a sister to me. And Dave Coulier, the other friend, was Joey. We were standing there, and the kids were young, and I didn't know what to do, so I started to call the thing Peppermill instead of Eeyore because it looked like, you know, when you go to Olive Garden and you get fresh ground pepper, you know, it looked like the whole...
It looked like a peppermill.
It looked like a peppermill.
Yeah.
So I was saying that.
So to diffuse the situation around children...
Yes.
You started yelling peppermill.
Because I wanted to help the children.
Yeah.
And protect them.
Sure.
But this is what is in the book, stuff like that stayed with me, because this is a true thing. I will be in a restaurant, and I will get a Caesar salad, and the guy will come over, and he'll go, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And I'll just go, you get that thing away from me. That is a donkey's...
Okay, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, thank you.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, you got audio people. They can do things.
No, we can't afford to do that. That's going out to all of America.